Good morning, Montrose. I'm Tonya Maddox, the publisher of the Montrose Daily Press, and this is Montrose Matters. In the MDP studios today, we have a lively bunch who they're kind of rushing me along because it's a gorgeous day in Montrose and they're trying to get outside. But before we chat with Gary and Mike, I want to say thank you, Elevate Fiber. Without you, we could not be bringing this programming to Montrose. So, Elevate Fiber, sponsor of Montrose Matters. Now, in the MDP studios, we have Gary Bertorello. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Oh, I need to put an Italian spin on it, too. Love that. And we have Mike Williams from Montrose Home and Land. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Okay, you know the name. I need some history on that. Is your family from Italy?
My grandparents' parents originally came over from northern Italy, and my grandfather was born and raised over in Silver Plume on the eastern slope.
Oh.
And then they migrated to the western slope when things didn't work out over there, and we've been here ever since.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he came here in the early 1900s, so our family name has been here for quite a number of years.
Oh, love that. I
Yeah.
love that history. You know, most people don't know how diverse Montrose truly is until we hear stories like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rumor has it, though, Gary, you're a native. Born and raised here?
Mm-hmm. Stayed here by choice.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, yeah. I really enjoy it. It's just the quality of life that made the difference. There's a lot of places you can go to make a lot more money, but there are other things than money to be had.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, and for someone like you who've been born and raised here and in your industry, you know, you've seen a lot of changes over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been in real estate for how long now?
I started in March of 1993.
Oh,
So that's
you were 10?
like yeah. I was a puppy.
Yes.
So I think it's been like 24 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are the biggest changes that, you know, although you've been in this industry 24 years, Montrose Home and Land you celebrated a 1-year anniversary in January,
Yeah,
right?
we actually incorporated in January of last year.
Great.
Yeah.
Just kind of take us aback. What kind of changes have you seen on the landscape with, the price of homes, the availability? Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, this is kind of a weird business. I've never seen it where everything
Gary said that, I didn't.
Yes, it's never been evenly balanced.
Okay.
We either have more of what we need or we don't have enough of what we need. Right now, we don't have enough of what we need. A number of years ago, when they had the foreclosure problems, we had homes every place. We had no buyers.
Right.
Now we have buyers, and we can't service them because we don't have enough inventory. So it's always a challenge trying to figure out how you're going to make things work. If you don't stay on your feet and stay nimble, you don't last very long.
Well, and your business is quite diverse. You know, you and Mike, you handle commercial, residential, and land.
Mm-hmm.
So you could stay busier than the average, you know, real estate agent who just handles residential, right?
Yes, if we had the inventory, but we stay busy. There's no question about that. You just got to have know your inventory, know your client's needs, and to me, you really have to understand water, irrigation water,
Right.
because it is very, very diverse as to how it's used, when it's available, that kind of thing. And a person in our business can get in trouble real quick if they don't really understand irrigation water.
Are the inventory issues that you see right now, are they across all three of those spectrums in land, commercial, and residential? Is there one that's struggling more than the other?
I would say the residential is.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
The residential's the toughest part. If we have somebody that's looking for rental property, it's really hard to find something. You don't have a lot of choice. If you're looking to purchase something, prices are escalated just because of the pressure of lack of inventory.
Right.
So that makes it harder for people to kind of keep up with some of the price inflation that we've seen. If you have something under $200,000 that's decent, it's going to go away really quick. And $200,000 is an easy number to say, but that's still a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
And going into the recession, we had a tremendous amount of land, improved land, residential property available. And as we came out of the recession, a lot of those properties were discounted, and a lot of that land was bought up, a lot of those building sites. And the results from that we're seeing last year and this year, our building permits have really shot up. A lot of buildings coming out of a lot of homes coming out of the ground.
So it's a good time and a tough time to be in this industry, it sounds like.
You've got to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And during the recession, we didn't just sit back and mope and shed tears. You were busy getting ready to be busy. So you're doing a lot of prep work.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I know what these two men are passionate about, and I want to share that with all of Montrose.
Here in the heart of beautiful western Colorado, known for its unrivaled outdoor recreation, bountiful harvests, and unparalleled quality of life, changes are being made. Elevate Fiber is transforming the way we work, live, and play by creating exciting new opportunities for local families and businesses. Are you ready?
And welcome back, Montrose. I'm Tonya Maddox, and I am back with Gary and Mike from Montrose Home and Land. You know, these gentlemen here may look all calm and reserved, but they had me cracking up at the break, okay? So, Gary has this, amazing Italian name. Come to find out, you like to cook.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And you do it well.
Well, nobody's died yet.
Okay, watch out. Tell us what kind of cuisine you like to make.
My two favorites, my two preferences are either Italian cooking or barbecue.
Okay.
The Italian cooking thing comes from some of the dinners that we used to go to at my grandparents' house. And those were, we still had some of the old family around that had the very heavy accents, and the food was just exceptional.
Oh.
It's no recipes or whatever. It was a little dish of this and a little bit of that. And that's kind of the way I tend to try to cook. And I try to copy it as closely as I can. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, where does the barbecue fit in? Are we talking Carolina barbecue, Texas barbecue? Is it that wet, dry?
depends on my mood and what I'm cooking.
It's Montrose, isn't it?
I love that.
I've tried all different styles. It just depends on the mood and what it is that I'm doing. We'll usually on 4th of July, we'll have a big family barbecue, and we'll do 25 or 30 pounds of ribs. We'll do a couple of pork roasts. We'll do some chickens, and then there'll be beer and lemonade and whatever else around.
Sydney, will you get that on my calendar? He said 4th of July, right? Okay.
And it just depends on what it is we're going to do and how many people we think we're going to have, and we try something a little different every year. So
you two have been working together for a while. You love cooking. You enjoy cooking as well. I just found this out today. But your specialty is?
Grilling is where my main focus is. But my wife and I like to cook together. And
I'm sorry, say that again? You've married how many years?
We've been married, this July, be 50 years.
And you cook together and you're still married?
Yeah, 5-0. But she, we each have our own specialties, and Jean works a menu about 2 weeks out, and we shop once or twice a month, and then we cook around that.
Dear husband Travis, I will spend some time with his wife Jean, I promise you. What? She does a menu 2 weeks out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And fish, pasta, beef, game, elk, So anyway, it's rather diverse.
Oh, I love it. So if I go into Montrose Home and Land, are you going to have any appetizers there or any snacks for me?
Give us notice.
You guys heard that here on Montrose Matters. If you call down there and give them notice, Oh, man. Your location on Townsend, beautiful spot.
Mm-hmm.
Love that sign, the yellow and the black. It definitely stands out. Has it been a good year for you this past year?
Yeah, last year was a good year. This year is starting out really well.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And so because you worked for another franchise at some point.
Yeah,
for a
many
while.
years ago I worked for a franchise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you decided that it was time to go out on your own.
Well, the franchise wasn't doing anything for me. Most of what you do in this business is individual. It's the individual agent that makes the deal work. It really doesn't make much difference what sign you're under, how big the company is, or anything else. What makes things work is how well you know your job, how well you can relate to the people that you're working with, and how hard you're willing to work.
Okay.
And if you have those three things in combination, it's probably the best business I've ever been involved in.
My preference is to work with, whenever I have the opportunity, first-time home buyers,
Oh.
because I can see a lot of anxiety. I can see a lot of apprehension. I know these things are getting close to meaning the same, but when we walk out at the end of the day and we have our closing and pass the key across the table, they just, the look on their face, I'm getting goosebumps right now, the look on their face and their excitement is just tremendous. I love it.
Since you brought that up, I remember buying my first house and that same feeling. I mean, we were apprehensive and excited, and all of those things rolled into one.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had that feeling again so many homes later. It's an unbelievable feeling, but it takes someone special to walk the first-time home buyer through that, hold their hand, explain it to them, because it's the largest purchase you're going to make in
Exactly.
your lifetime.
That's exactly how I look at it. It's going to impact their life, their budget,
Right.
whatever their plans in the future are, they still got to make that payment.
Exactly.
Or if they're fortunate enough to pay cash, well, so be it.
Because you'll work with anyone, right?
You bet.
When you think about real estate agents and brokers and so forth, you think about running all over town and showing different homes and pieces of property and, land. How do you find time to relax? You're almost working 24/7.
About 4:30 in the afternoon.
If we have time. One of the things Mike and I started doing was, you do have to have kind of time to relax and unwind a little bit. I'm generally in the office at about 7:30 every morning. And we'll a lot of times work straight through lunch if we need to. And if we have the opportunity at about 4:30 in the afternoon, we'll sit down and sometimes we'll just have a beer, sometimes we'll just sit around and have a Coke or chat. We'll talk about the things we did during the day or the things we want to do tomorrow. And it keeps things on focus, and if there's any issues or problems or ideas or whatever, it's a really good chance to kind of discuss those and get everything lined up, and it makes things flow really well.
Well, that's a good time to take a break. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Montrose Matters. I'm Tonya Maddox, the publisher of the Montrose Daily Press. And in the MDP studios, we have Gary and Mike from Montrose Home and Land. So, okay. I know you two love this business. You've been in it for a few years. I'm not even going to say decades, but so you know the ins and the outs. there's great days, and Mike, you were telling us about first-time home buyers and how that gets you energetic and excited and gives you goosebumps. But there's also have to be challenges. What are some of the challenges or pet peeves?
Well, probably the biggest pet peeve of mine is when whether it's the appraiser, the inspector, the underwriter for the loan, or whoever will say, we can't do this deal. I say, then my question is, what do you mean we can't? Explain to me what the obstacle is. And then they will, or they'll attempt to, and I say, okay, what do we need to do to correct that?
Right.
So don't tell me we can't do it. It may take us 6 months or a year. Credit history, rebuilding your credit,
Right.
it takes a while. But we can do the deal. We just got to figure out how.
I like that. That's a mantra that I believe I want to live by.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look back at this past year, Gary, what is one of your most memorable moments?
Oh, wow.
I stomped on Montrose, and this
Yeah.
guy's been on top of it.
Well, there's been a number of them. Every deal is unique. Every person is unique. So it's really hard to pick out one that stands out. We've had some that were easier than we thought they were going to be, and then we've had some that were much tougher than we thought they were going to be. And we just finished up one where it seemed like there was every possible circumstance that we had. Every time we resolved a problem, there was another problem that came up. And you just keep taking those things one at a time, and you find a way to get past them, the way that Mike's talked about, and we made the deal work. It worked for the buyer, it worked for the seller, and everybody's happy. So I suppose aside from, everybody's looking to get paid, but one of the biggest satisfactions in this job is being able to do things where you really make an impact in somebody's life. We have the capacity to change it either way. And if we can change it for the better and accomplish the goals that you're looking for, what you hired us for, that's the payday.
Well said. Gosh, real estate agents get paid? Who knew that?
Well, sometimes.
So Mike has been giving me a tough time here, and you guys haven't seen this, but he's been looking at his watch because it's a beautiful day in Montrose. What are you going to do this afternoon, Mike?
Check in, punch the clock this afternoon, and then we'll go right back at it one more time.
Oh, okay. So nothing in the lawn, huh?
No,
Nothing outside.
nothing outside yet, but I keep looking.
Okay. Well, you can tell me when Gary's not listening. That you're really.
Okay.
Gary, what are you going to do this beautiful afternoon?
I've got a fair amount of work to finish up back at the office, and then once I get that done, I think I'll probably knock off and try to settle in and prepare for the weekend. It looks like it's going to be fairly decent, so I'm going to try to find a direction to go and see how far south, east, or west I can manage to foray.
I love that.
Yeah.
So good. I don't feel as bad because while you were saying you were going back to work, I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to call it a day?
Yeah.
Well, just go ahead and ask me what I'm going to do this weekend.
Oh. Mike, what are you going to do this weekend?
Taxes.
And there you have it, Montrose, two of the hardest working men in real estate. Thank you so much, Mike, and thank you so much,
Thank you.
Gary. Everybody go on down to Montrose Home and Land on Townsend in between.
We're in between Eldorado Financial. We're right next to Eldorado Financial. We're in the south end of his building. We're right across the street from Bank of the West.
That's right. So you can't miss that beautiful yellow and black sign. Have a great day, Montrose.